Obaseki signed 222.6 billion naira for 2022 as appropriation bill into law, say Diswan a budget of renewal, hope and growth. Governor Obaseki don sign 2022 appropriation bill pegged at 222.6 billion naira into law after dem pass the bill through the Edo State House of Assembly. Obaseki say the budget wey be budget of renewal, hope and growth con get increase of 8.4 billion as against the 214.2 billion naira wey dem initially present to the assembly. Governor wey sign the budget for Esco Chambers Government House, Benin City, commend the assembly for giving speedy consideration to the bill.
Profound gratitude and appreciation of the executive branch of government to the legislative branch for the cooperation we continue to receive from you. As Mr. Speaker pointed out in his remarks, you did acknowledge that only exactly 3 weeks ago, we submitted our proposals for the 2022 appropriation to the House. And 3 weeks after, you have gone through very diligent screening and come up with the appropriation law, which will guide government for next year. We have no other words, we don't have enough words to express our gratitude. As you can see, Mr. Speaker, next year signals quite a lot of challenges. We observe with gratitude also your wisdom in marginally increasing the size of the appropriation which we've brought to you, knowing that next year is likely to be quite an inflationary prone year, because with the trends we see today, we see the naira weakening further, which will mean that we'll need a lot more naira to accomplish the same set of things we did last year. So we understand the wisdom in you now increasing marginally, at least less than 10%, the proposal we brought to you. With definitely inflation and depreciating currency is likely to depreciate by much more than that. And with inflation at 17+%, we see the wisdom in that decision. We also want to thank you that even as you made that adjustment, in fact, most of that adjustment went into capital rather than recurrent expenditure, which now puts our capital expenditure at an all-time high relative to recurrent expenditure. We really want to appreciate you and to thank you for aligning with our dreams to make Edo great again. To accept we spend more money providing services and infrastructure for our people. Except we do that, we cannot take our people out of poverty. I'm so glad that you are aligned with us to control what we spend for recurrent expenditure and put more of our money or more of the budget in capital expenditure. I'm also glad that just going through a cursory look at the areas I know that are of big concern to you, areas to do with youths. I see you put some more money in technical education, trying to get us to build more technical schools, particularly in the central and I don't know. I want to thank you for making us think in that direction. I also want to see that you have put in a bit more money in sports development. Just realizing that next year there's a National Sports Festival, and you reminded us to that fact that we needed to put a bit more appropriation in the area of sports to encourage participation of our young people. We want to appreciate and thank you for that very, very kind gesture. We want to want to assure you that as an executive, we are fine-tuning our plans to increase government revenues, internally generated revenues, because that is the trick behind attaining this budget size. From the indications over the last few weeks, from what we've done with the ARS, we are pretty confident that though people are willing to pay taxes, what they want to see is they want to see that these monies, the taxes they pay, go into government treasury and government coffers, and that these taxes are utilized transparently for developmental purposes. Mr. Speaker, members of the House of Assembly, I want to end by once again appreciating the speed and diligence that you have exhibited in considering our budget. In other words, that if you, with the incapacity, or well, the limited capacity you have, are able to work as diligently as this, I mean, we don't have any words to thank you for the sacrifice which we know you continue to make. I'm also very grateful for the kind consideration that you give in this budget to those constituents or constituencies that are currently not represented in the House. You know, notwithstanding the failure of their representatives, you have played father to the entire state. Even my own constituency, Oredo, where we're not represented, or the deputy governor's constituency, we see that you have nonetheless still made generous provisions for projects in our constituencies. We want to thank you most sincerely and wish you compliments of a season and a joyous and prosperous 2022.
Earlier, the Speaker, Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Marcus Onombu, say them don't go through the budget and consult with the constituents across the state to make sure say their input reflects.
Your Excellency, we are here to submit and as well present the 2022 Appropriation Bill to you to sign into law. You recall that on the first day of December 2021, you made a presentation to the Edo State House of Assembly, and ever since then we've been working to speed up action and make sure that we give a clean document to the executive to do the work that's needed for Edo people. Your Excellency, you recall that the presentation that was made by Humble Self had a total budget size of 214 billion, 210 million, 4,035 naira and 71 kobo. Your Excellency, haven't scrutinized the budget, consulted with the constituents across the states, making sure that their input are sorted, and as well your mega agenda gets to the grassroots. And the consultation with the Ministry of Budgets, we got to a conclusion to slightly increase the budget size from the initial amount to the current budget size, which has now been passed into law, of 222 billion 570 million 4,035 naira and 71 kobo. Your Excellency, we all deliberated on this budget, bearing in mind that you need all the legislative support to giving Edo people the year 2022 the best that they deserve. And today we have clean copies of the 2022 approved appropriation law for your signature, Your Excellency.
From Benin, Osarugwe Monday for TMC News.